This is another type of limit you might see. When we plug in h as it approaches 0, we get 0 over 0. So we can't do it that way. We also can't factor this. So with this one, we're going to try and rationalize it. In order to do this, what we want to do is we want to, in this case, pick the numerator because it's the one with the square root. And we want to take its conjugate. And all the conjugate is it's the exact same thing, 9 plus h. But instead of minus, it's going to be plus. So we're going to take the opposite sign that we see between those two terms. And if we can multiply the top by this, what we want to do as well is we want to multiply the bottom. The reason why we want to do this is because what we're really doing is we're just multiplying by 1 because we can just cancel these out and it's like we're multiplying the original by 1, so that's quite alright. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and FOIL this out. So this is going to be 9 plus h plus 3 times the square root of 9 plus h minus 3 times the square root of 9 plus h minus 9. And this is all going to be over h times the square root of 9 plus h plus 3. Now what we want to do is we want to see if there's any terms that cancel out. And we see here that we have a plus 3 square root 9 plus h and a minus 3 square root 9 plus h. So we can go ahead and cancel those out. And now what we're left with is 9 plus h minus 9 over h times the square root of 9 plus h plus 3. And we can see that these 9's can cancel out. So we are now left with h over h times the square root of 9 plus h plus 3. And finally, we can cancel out these h's because they're common on top and bottom. And now what we have is we have 1 over the square root of 9 plus h plus 3. And if we were to take the limit of this, as h approaches 0, kind of like we had in the beginning, or exactly like we had in the beginning, we will go ahead and get 1 over the square root of 9 plus 0 plus 3, which is equal to 1 over 6. So we can see from the start, if we plugged in 0, we got 0 over 0. So we wanted to go ahead and take the conjugate, which is just this top term, but we want to change the sign in the middle to a plus instead of a minus. And once we go ahead and factor out, cancel everything that can cancel, we see at the end we get 1 over 6.